Welcome back. My name is Yu Win. You can call me Yu Win or Win, and I'm happy to be here with you today. I like to start my videos by sharing a practice. And so the practice that I'd like to share with you today comes from a movie called Finding Ohana. And in the movie, there is not a husband, a father and a daughter who have been estranged and they come back together. And the father's name is Kimo and the daughter's name is Leilani. And the father has been hospitalized and, they had an argument. And then the next time they come together, they're having a conversation and they they talk about making it right. And then they take turns sharing um, what they're sorry for, what they are thankful for of the other person, and then they say, I love you. So it feels like it's very similar to a Ho'oponopono practice. So if you want to find out more about that, but I want to speak specifically about this and what I saw in the movie because what I ended up doing was one of the times that I was able to visit with or to spend some time with my twin. We had downtime in a car ride, and it just felt like an opportunity to ask for this practice to be done together, even though it was like the first time I'd ever done it. And maybe, oh, I've done it since then. But essentially, we took turns and we each just shared things that we wanted to apologize for. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for asking more of you than you can give, for example. And so we may have taken turns going back and forth, but we may have each just gone on a monologue. And I think the important part was, there was a desire to kind of, um, oh no, you don't have to apologize for that. And I think it was important to not do that. And it was important to be able to say it and to feel it without it being stopped. So it might, be well done if it's, you might play around with it to kind of see what works best. So it's, I'm sorry. And then we took turns sharing what we were thankful for. I'm thankful that we reconnected. I'm thankful that you make time for me. And then I mixed it up. And instead of just saying, I love you at the end, we did a round of just sharing, like, I love that you're so generous. I love that you're you, right? And it was very cathartic, it was very healing. And for me, much like this 90-day challenge, it was very important for me to be able to share and speak my truth without holding back and maybe to be able to say the things that I had wished I could say, but there wasn't really the space or like the conditions didn't feel right to do so. So, something for you to check out. I will share a link to the movie and I will just share the Ho'oponopono as well if you want to check that out sometime. So, a tool for your consideration. So, today I wanted to share. I know this is heart centered community, and I am still learning about community. And I think it's a really important and interesting time to be learning about community. And I came across a resource today that was so amazing that I just really want to share it with you here. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so I found this on Instagram. And I felt really inspired. And so this is from Jenna Gallarzo. So thank you so much, Jenna. And 100th Wave. And then she also included the General Strike US. And so essentially, community is the greatest solution to a collapsing capitalistic empire. And here's a free and easy way to build yours today, no experience necessary, which is super helpful for me because I have no experience in terms of community and being a part of something this important. And so it says, build the village, starve the empire. And so you'll go ahead and see here. Whoops, is that right? No, it's not right. So the reality we're living in, then you knew your neighbors. Now you don't know who lives next door. Then you had borrowed eggs, tools, and time. Now you order online or get 1 hour delivery. Kids played together unsupervised. Kids need scheduled play dates, right? So if this is starting to sound very familiar, then wasn't that long ago either. Many of us actually lived through this shift and can remember when community was just how life worked. And so goes on to share some of the concerns. Workers produce more but earn less. Climate crises are isolated. Human rights abuses persist. Affordable or housing is unaffordable. Extreme wealth concentration, right? So things that are going on. Okay. So then she starts to talk about what we can do, right? So mutual aid networks for help without money, barter systems to trade goods and services, tool libraries to share instead of buying, harvest teams to share food, reduce waste, emergency preparedness to be ready together. And so in the guide, she shares what she did. And so she started a Facebook group for her neighborhood. She wrote a welcome post sharing her intention. She started threads to get the conversation going. She set up a shared calendar for events, and then she let it grow naturally without controlling it. So she saw results in less than a week, 60 members and counting, multiple people joining daily from invites from others. And then walks started on day one. So we got more physical activity and being together. And um, so she shares how we can do this. So, if you can have someone create a Facebook group for your neighborhood and then set a private group, create a welcome post that might take you 10, 15 minutes, and then start 3 to 6 threads, pick what your community needs. And then she also offers in this post what she used, and then step back and then allow it to just happen the way that it needs to happen. So then she shares the threads. So we've got playground meetups. The problem is that kids are isolated, parents are lonely, and everyone is stuck in their houses. So a solution could be to get families together at a local park. So, someone might post what days and times works for them, try to set up a regular meetup time, welcome spontaneous posts like, oh, I'm heading to the park if anyone wants to join. And then this creates kids get consistent friend time, parents build their village, isolation breaks down. And then there are support systems that are natural. Thread number 2 is a skill directory. We hire corporations while neighbors need work. Money leaves our community. So, a solution could be to build a directory of neighbor owned or operated businesses and skills so that we can hire our neighbors first. And so, it shares how it works and then what it creates. And then, skills can include plumbing, design, tutoring, lawn care, haircuts, anything. And then thread number 3 is mutual aid and support. So everyone's overwhelmed. People need help but won't ask. People want to help but don't know who needs help. So the solution is a space where asking is normalized. So she shares, if you would comment in this thread if you need a ride or help with the yard work or someone to talk to. You can comment if you can offer help, and then, just to make sure, and I'm sure with everything, just to have no judgments, right? And so this is going to create solidarity. People have backup. Parents and people can have breaks. We're essentially creating a village, right, within our communities and neighborhoods. Thread number 4 is harvest and share so that food isn't wasted. Perhaps looking at barter markets. So if somebody has, apples, can they trade it for somebody who makes baked goods? And, not having to look at money. And I know like buy nothing groups are also something where it's not just food, but just items in general. So that's also something that you can look into. And then harvest teams, post if you need help harvesting, neighbors come to help, and then you share with the people who, and then you can share with food banks. I know a lot of food banks are looking for, and we're we're just looking like money stays in our pockets, but nothing's wasted. So, thread number 5, emergency readiness. Most of us are unprepared. I'll tell you, we are not prepared. So when disaster strikes, we are vulnerable and isolated. So the solution is to build emergency preparedness by learning from professionals as a community, right? So get a free FEMA training within your neighborhood. Only needs a venue and 25 participants. So, if you can do this at a park and have people from your neighborhood join, and then the community develops skills. We help each other. We're not alone or scared when it's happening. The sixth one thread that she offers is other requests. So, you can just kind of let people share as they need, but it's the like, etc., or the ones that didn't fit within those categories. So I think I saw this and I just thought it was too important not to share. And especially as people are looking and worried about food and where they're going to get their next meal, even if people do have the resources themselves, the rising cost, right, of food and things. So I always wonder how I can build community. So I'm going to figure out how to start a Facebook group and put this together and see what happens. And I think it's really important, be political, not partisan. This is about solidarity. This is more than solidarity. It's solidarity. It's human survival. It's accessible work, right? And then she does say and talk about the buts, because I'm sure I have them. I just haven't thought about it long enough. What if no one joins? Start it anyway. What if it becomes too much work? You're not managing it, right? You're letting others take the lead and add things and comment. What if people are difficult? That's a part of community, right? So if you can set that in the intention, if there are community agreements, if there are boundaries, right, to make sure that people know what they're getting themselves into, and even looking for like a list of community agreements that are probably somewhere on the internet already. So I wanted to share that, and I thank you for, just letting me be able to do so. I think that it's such an interesting such an interesting time to be alive, and I am always wanting to do something, and I don't know what, and I don't have enough people who are willing to share, and I don't know where to start either, right? I don't know where to start looking for these things. And even if you do have information, I would love it if you would, be willing to share with us, with me. I think there is so much knowledge and so much wisdom, and I think we can get through what's happening, the uncertainty together. Right? Healing happens in community, as Bell Hooks talks about. And so this was something that felt very hopeful and helpful for me. So I wanted to share and get us thinking about community and the possibility that the messiness of communities might become more important than the strife and suffering and misery that people experience with the instability and all of the changes. And so, just for your consideration, appreciate you showing up. That will end my part for this video. Wherever you are in the world, whenever you are in the world, I do hope you know, or that you will soon come to believe, that who you are, exactly as you are, is deserving and worthy of love, of unconditional love. I look forward to connecting with you again next time. And until then, please take good care. Okay, bye bye.